The objective of this lesson is to subtract fractions from fractions with like denominators that are greater than or less than a whole using models and equations. Let's look at the vocabulary. Minuend. The minuend is the number you subtract from. We'll begin with a review of fractions less than 1. Let's look at some strategies students might use to model and solve the following problem. Cindy is packing a lunch for her daughter Emily to take on a field trip. She slices an apple into 8 pieces. She eats one of the slices and places the remaining slices into a bag for lunch. At lunchtime, Emily eats 4 slices. Write an equation that describes the situation. One strategy would be to use fraction circles. Students could represent a whole circle with 1/8 pieces. 1/8 is taken away to make the number of apple slices she had in her bag, 7/8. Then 4 1/8 pieces are taken away to show what is left over, the difference, which is 3/8. A drawing could be used. A circle is drawn and partitioned into 8 equal pieces. Each piece is 1/8 of the whole. 7/8 are shaded in to represent the minuend. 4 1/8 pieces are crossed out to show the difference of 3/8. A number line could be used in 2 different ways. The first strategy would be subtraction by taking away. Create a number line and partition the length between 0 and 1 into 8 equal parts. Begin at the minuend, 7/8, and make 4 1/8 jumps to the left, which lands on 3/8. This is the difference between 7/8 and 4/8. The equation is still 7/8 take away 4/8 equals 3/8. The next number line strategy is subtraction by counting up. Partition the number line as before, but instead of beginning at the minuend of 7/8, start at the subtrahend 4/8 and count how many jumps of 1/8 it takes to get to 7/8. 5/8, 6/8, 7/8. There were 3 jumps of 1/8 to get to 7/8. Again, the same equation applies. Let's look at another type of problem. A frozen drink machine contains strawberry and root beer flavored drinks. The strawberry tank is 9/12 full. The root beer tank is 5/12 full. How much more strawberry flavored drink is there than root beer flavored drink? This is a comparison problem and there isn't a quantity that is removed. This problem is to determine the difference between 2 quantities. Let's try a bar drawing to represent the problem. 2 bars are partitioned into 12 sections. In the first bar, 9 of the sections are colored pink to represent that the strawberry tank is 9/12 full. On the second bar, 5 of the 12 sections are colored brown to represent the root beer bar. Since the bars are side by side, it is easy to see that there is a difference between them of 4 sections, which is 4/12 of a tank. Now let's use a number line model. Partition the distance between 0 and 1 into 12 equal pieces. Mark and label the number line to represent the root beer tank, which is 5/12 full. Next, mark and label 9/12, which represents the contents of the strawberry tank. The distance between 5/12 and 9/12 is 4/12. There is 4/12 of a tank more strawberry flavored drink than root beer flavored drink. The equation would be 9/12 take away 5/12 is 4/12. 4/12 is the amount of difference comparing the 2 drinks. For the second part of this lesson, problems will be represented where the minuends are greater than 1 whole. Note that in the real world, fractions greater than 1 are generally expressed as mixed numbers. For example, 3/2 gallons of apple juice is more commonly referred to as 1 1/2 gallons. However, students will not be introduced to mixed numbers until later lessons. Therefore, fractions greater than 1 are written in fraction form instead of mixed numbers. Let's look at our next problem. Adrienne has 3/2 gallons of apple juice. Her family drank 1/2 gallon for dinner. How much apple juice is left? The equation can be written as 3/2 minus 1/2 equals what? The solution could be represented by using fraction circles or drawing circles. 3/2 minus 1/2 equals 1 whole. Or a drawing of gallon jugs. 3/2 minus 1/2 equals 1 whole. Or a number line, 3/2 minus 1/2 equals 1 whole. Or a bar model, 3/2 minus 1/2 equals 1 whole. All of the models that were used demonstrate the same answer. 3/2 subtract 1/2 equals 1 whole. There are other strategies that your child may develop to show subtraction of fractions. Have him or her explain their method to you. The objective for this lesson was to subtract fractions from fractions with like denominators that are greater than or less than a whole using models and equations. We met this objective by investigating equations and a real-life problem which were justified by representative drawings and supporting equations.